yeah, I feel like that if I had one gift in the world, it would be to let people vent to me and stuff, because I want to know why you're sad, and I will like feel for you and all that stuff, and never think about how I've had it harder. Or anyways, so anyways, as I was venting about how, and I can't keep up with the house is so messy, and she would be like, well, what in the world do you do all day? And I say, I sit on the floor and I play with my kids. And she's like, well, when I had kids, I didn't have the luxury of playing with my kids. I was in the kitchen all day long, blah, 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 blah. And I remember thinking, like, you want me to do that? Like, I just said I'm sitting playing with my kids. Like, is it really more important to be in the kitchen all day? And so I'm not even going to talk about the rest of the details. My parents wrote an apology to her in an email, and explain, they were like seriously sorry that they did that and made it sound so bad. And then we apologized to each other, and everything. But still, when Satan's bothering me, like, it always comes back to her words. Like, when Satan's telling me, like, oh, you are the worst mom in the world, and look at your house, and how could you do this? Like, a lot of what she said, that 4 hours we were there, no, I don't know, it was probably just an hour, but there was so much stuff that was said that I could still hear. And so even knowing her side of the story doesn't erase, like, words, or how she actually felt about me. Another thing that she said that messed me up for a while was, she's like, well, every time you come to church and I ask you how you're doing, you're always negative, and you're like, oh, well, my kid's this and my kid's that. And it's like, she was the only person I was telling the truth to. Like, I was all smiles and, being completely, how are you fine, to everyone else, and so I figured, like, oh, well, here's someone I have no one in the world. Once a week, I get to tell someone how it's really going. And, well, oh, great, here comes Julie. And I think she even said that. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, oh, great, here comes someone who's going to tell me the truth of her life. This is going to be terrible. And it really messed me up for a long time. My YMCA family, like, totally would listen to me and laugh with me and be sad with me, and we'd work out, and that was like my real family. And this is so weird that I'm crying. I'm trying to get off Paxil, so I'm actually able to feel a little more. So, but anyways, so, like, what was I saying? I got so distracted by the fact that I'm crying, because I'm like, oh, this sucks, because I hate crying in front of people. But my YMCA family, like, they were the ones that really, really took care of me. And the church I was going to was a really great church, and all the people were really, really wonderful. They really were. They were just, just so busy, and that's not their fault, Everyone has to work hard, because if you don't work, you don't eat. And, but that's just completely what made me just want to be a stay-home mom all that much more. I don't care. My cars are crappy. Pretty much don't even really have a dishwasher. I have a huge thing that sanitizes my stuff, and we've got a lot. I mean, I'm just saying, like, when Chad was deployed, it taught me how important it is for life to slow down, because we can't even slow down enough to see someone that's hurting so, so bad, because we're so busy and stressed with our own lives and our own pains. And I just think we would have less pain and stress if we would just maybe, like, lower down our lifestyles, like drive around junkers And I'm totally not getting high and mighty either. It's hard doing videos because everyone gets offended by everything people say. And I'm not saying, look at me, I drive trash cars because I have my priorities straight, and I never ever think that way ever. I'm just saying, in my personal experience, that deployment, even though it was so terrible, I would never take any of the deployments back because they completely taught me so much and just made me who I am. And the deployment too is what taught that, and like how Dee Dee taught me how to take care of moms in need. It's it's the reason why I do watch kids for free sometimes, and well, most of the time. But anyways, so just stuff like that, it makes you want to slow your life down so you can actually not be too stressed to help other people. So when I had little ones, I was planning on maybe going to work when they got older, but I don't want to, because then I don't want to be that woman in the church that just cannot get off at until 7 p.m. to help someone in need. And it's not her fault, because, but anyways, that's a whole nother thing. Oh, when my camera stopped because it was full, I was talking about, like, why now my house is so messy. To hear that lady talk about how she was just cleaning, like, the whole time she had little ones. I know we're supposed to teach our kids to pick up after themselves, and that's where Chad comes in. He does awesome. Like, that's what we do every night before we go to bed, is we clean the living room and stuff like that, and then the kids pick up and all this stuff. And their teachers, when we have parent and teacher conferences, they're the ones that do put their toys away and just all this stuff. So we do teach them to be clean, because there is a balance, but I feel like I will have lots of time, since I'm not going to go to work. When my kids are older and everything isn't so demanding right now, my kids are going to be off in summer times, even when they're in school. Well, I have them till they're 18, so I can teach them to clean, like, even if I only started, like, when they're 10, when they're old enough, and, and they don't take so much energy. And because right now, I'm just trying to teach my 6-year-old to stop throwing fits about everything, and that's a full-time deal right there. So I'm choosing my battles right now, and right now, I just want my kids to be completely loving and, like, trying to, help them not be selfish and all that. And so right now, I don't have time to constantly push cleaning right now. Now, when Mercedes isn't kicking and screaming on the floor anymore, yes, now I'm going to have her, sweep and mop, and we'll have, I plan on having the house clean. Before I had kids and a husband, my house was always clean when I lived by myself with my dog. So, I totally prefer it clean, but I don't want my kids to remember me always being in the kitchen, Like, I want them to remember me playing with them and stuff, and oh, sorry, back and forth. It's kind of an emotional day, but just that time of the month, really, is probably why I was crying and all that stuff. Oh, so anyways, when they're like 10 or whatever, we can spend all summer, like, teaching them to clean, from 10 to 18, that you could teach a lot in 8 years, and so we will get around to teaching them that. But right now, that's kind of why the house is so trashed. So it's not about, like, we're, really messy people and being lazy. It's just, I think the world, we've got our priorities all messed up, everything's got to look perfect. And that's why sometimes when I watch my videos, I'm like, oh, my skin looks bad, I should have just put on some makeup. But that's the world. Like, should I, like, try to look all perfect, and then you feel bad and think, oh, I wish I had Julie's skin or something? And it's like, no, I just, like, tried to get all dolled up before I took the video. So you guys get the luxury of you know, looking at my real self and stuff, and I just think we all need to be like that more and not try to make everything look perfect on the outside, because I don't want to grow up to be that angry woman. And that's another thing about this woman is like, I just feel really sad for her because she was so angry. And again, that could have been, you know, because she was angry about it being an emergency and blah blah blah. Again, it was a total communication mix up. So I know that this lady is a very nice person and stuff, but just, she was bitter though. Like, that bitterness couldn't have been, all that bitterness from, because she was talking about when she was young and all this stuff, couldn't have come just because she was mad that it was an emergency, that I had ants in my house or something. She was seriously bitter, like she was mad that she had to live that way. And I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be so mad that, well, I kept my house spotless and you should too, and don't talk to me about suffering. I suffered so much because of this and that and all that stuff, and I want to prevent that. And if that means having a messy house, then so be it. So I know that a lot of people will disagree with me, and I could totally see their side. And, you know, my dad always quotes this thing that this one preacher always said, and people act in a way that makes sense to them. And this makes sense to me, to not spend all my time cleaning. Now, whenever I do have free time, I'm cleaning. That's why I never get to sew. I stay up late at night designing bags in my head and designing dresses and shirts, and I'll actually not be able to sleep because I want to sew that bad. But any free time I have, I'm like, ooh, I could sew. Well, okay, I'll sew as soon as I get this clean. Well, of course, I'll clean all the way up until whatever, and then I don't have time to sew. So my family comes first, and then cleaning, and then and that's why I was getting up at 4 in the morning to work out. Well, then I got strep throat, you know, mixed with eating badly. But anyways, so yeah, that's kind of just a huge long story on why I don't keep my house spotless. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it kind of puts life into perspective for you. If you're constantly stressed about, you know, a perfect house, then I hope that this kind of makes it a little easier for you.